You walk into a room and immediately there's a subtle shift. Someone's watching you, not in a friendly way, not like they're curious about your new shoes, but in a way that feels invasive, calculating. That's the covert narcissist at work. Narcissistic abuse doesn't just happen randomly. It's strategic. Emotional manipulation isn't messy chaos. It's a carefully crafted game. And if you've ever wondered why certain people, including maybe yourself, get targeted, it's not by accident. There's a reason they see you, fixate on you, and slowly pull you into trauma bonding. Understanding this can save your energy, protect your mind, and finally give you clarity in a world that seems designed to confuse you. You might feel like you're constantly being tested, like your compassion, your warmth, your success, or even your calmness is being watched for weaknesses. And the truth is, narcissists are masters at identifying exactly what they want from you. They know how to read the room, and more importantly, they know how to read you. They scan for qualities that make their game easier, that give them control, and that allow them to feed their ego without risking real exposure. And here's the thing, once you understand what makes you a target, you start to see the patterns, the setups, and the subtle emotional traps they lay out. That clarity is the first step to stepping out of their grip. You see, narcissists don't go after people at random. They're drawn to certain traits, the very traits that often make you powerful, empathetic, and aware. People who are compassionate, highly sensitive, or self-aware are like magnets to them, because these qualities make it easier for a narcissist to manipulate, gaslight, and confuse. A covert narcissist in particular is like a shadow. They don't attack outright. They slowly infiltrate your life, whisper doubts, make small moves that escalate over time. It's subtle. It's insidious. And if you're not aware, it can leave you doubting your reality, questioning your worth, and trapped in cycles of trauma bonding. You might ask yourself, why me? Why do they pick me? And here's the answer. It's because you notice things. You feel deeply. You care about truth and authenticity. Narcissists hate that. They thrive on lies, deception, and control. So when they see someone who won't easily bend to their will, someone whose energy can't be drained without effort, they get fascinated. They see a challenge, a puzzle they believe they can solve. And that's where emotional manipulation begins. They start small, testing boundaries, planting seeds of doubt, and watching how you respond. Every reaction is data to them. Every smile, every hesitation, every act of kindness is observed, analyzed, and stored for later use. And here's where most people fall into the trap. The qualities that make you uniquely powerful also make you vulnerable in their eyes. Your empathy, your intelligence, your drive to connect with others, these are strengths, but to a narcissist, they're opportunities. They don't just want a friend or partner. They want a reflection of themselves, someone they can control, someone they can dominate emotionally, someone they can pull into a web of trauma bonding. The narcissist feeds on your response. They create chaos, confusion, and conflict, and then they step back, watching as you try to untangle yourself, hoping to keep you in a state of dependence, doubt, and insecurity. But here's the secret that no narcissist wants you to realize. The very traits that attract them are also the traits that will protect you once you understand the game. Your awareness is a shield. Your empathy, once conscious and disciplined, is armor rather than vulnerability. When you recognize the patterns, the subtle lies, the triangulation, the silent treatments, you gain clarity. You stop absorbing their chaos. You stop letting their manipulation dictate your emotional state. You start noticing when they're creating drama for control rather than reality. And once you see that, the power shifts. It doesn't happen overnight, but every moment of recognition chips away at their hold. Consider this. Narcissists are not random bullies, they are strategic hunters. And hunters are always looking for the prey that offers the least resistance. They test, probe, and measure. They study your reactions. But the interesting part is that they are drawn to your light, the very thing that makes you exceptional. Your confidence, your authenticity, your ability to think independently. These are exactly what make them uneasy and fixated. A covert narcissist, unlike a more obvious narcissist, doesn't just want admiration. They want to destabilize you. They want to see you bend before your principles. They want to confuse you until you question your own judgment. That's why emotional manipulation is their favorite tool. It works silently, invisibly, and it can create trauma bonds that last for years if you're not aware. And let's talk about trauma bonding for a moment, because this is where things get tricky. Trauma bonding is like a magnetic pull between the abuser and the target. It's not love, it's a cycle of highs and lows, praise followed by criticism, kindness followed by coldness. This roller coaster tricks your mind into believing there is value in staying, in enduring, in fixing the narcissist. They intentionally engineer these highs and lows to create dependency, to trap your emotions, and to manipulate your perception of reality. It's exhausting, confusing, and it can make even the strongest person feel powerless. But understanding why they target you gives you an edge. It's the difference between being a passive participant and becoming the observer who understands the rules of the game. Once you know they are attracted to your strengths, you can stop apologizing for your empathy, your awareness, your ambition. You can protect your energy without feeling guilty. You can maintain boundaries without over-explaining. And most importantly, you can see the manipulation for what it is, patterns, not personal failures. You see that it's never truly about you. It's always about their need for control, validation, and ego reinforcement. Now imagine this transformation. Instead of constantly questioning yourself, doubting your instincts, and replaying conversations in your mind, you gain clarity. You recognize a covert narcissist's tactics the moment they try to test you. You disengage emotionally before the manipulation escalates. You reclaim your emotional freedom. The paranoia and second-guessing fade because you understand the logic of the narcissist, and you know your response is your power. That clarity is liberating. That awareness is a shield, and once you have it, the narcissist's hold over you is drastically weakened. Here's the next step you might not have considered. Stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances and start seeing yourself as the observer in their narrative. Narcissists target specific people because of what makes those people unique. But your uniqueness is also your protection. Your sensitivity, your authenticity, and your self-awareness can no longer be exploited once you consciously choose how to use them. You can set boundaries, disengage strategically, and protect your energy in ways that leave them powerless. Their fascination, their manipulation, their games, they lose meaning because you're no longer giving them emotional access. And that's the final piece. Understanding why narcissists target certain people isn't just about defense. It's about reclaiming your life, your mind, and your emotional autonomy. It's about seeing the patterns, recognizing the triggers, and creating boundaries that cannot be crossed. It's about stepping into your power with awareness and refusing to be a player in someone else's game. Once you reach that point, the mystery dissolves. The confusion disappears, and the energy they once drained from you can now fuel your growth, your relationships, and your future. So remember, they are drawn to your strengths, not your weaknesses. They seek to exploit the very qualities that make you extraordinary. But once you understand their strategy, once you recognize the signs of narcissistic abuse, covert manipulation, and trauma bonding, you gain the clarity to protect yourself. You can see them without falling into their traps, respond without fear, and disengage without guilt. Your awareness is your weapon, and your boundaries are your shield. You don't need to fix them. You don't need to be their mirror. You don't need to explain yourself. Awareness is the transformation. Recognition is the liberation. And emotional freedom is the next step. When you see the game for what it is, the power is no longer theirs, it's yours. You've seen the pattern. You've understood the strategy. Now the choice is simple. Stay trapped in the cycle or step back, protect your energy, and reclaim your life. Awareness is your armor. Boundaries are your shield, and clarity is your power. The narcissist may watch, but you're no longer a target. You're a force they cannot touch.